in to the Larks Network.
Leading off and playing second base, number 2, Tanner Rice. Second and playing shortstop, number 3, Austin Jasla. Batting third and playing center field, number 1, Jack Turosian. Batting fourth, then the first baseman, number 26, Tyler LaRue. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 33, Dylan Dryling. The right fielder, number 6, Hunter Rawson. Batting seventh in tonight's beverage batter, the catcher, number 5, Jackson Halter. Eighth and playing third base, number 4, Ben Ferenzi. Ninth, the designated hitter, number 23, Braden Larks. The Larks, number 21, Kobe Grimsley.
Meet me down at the ballpark where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 11 of the 2022 Hayes Larks season. This is game 2 of 3 against the RoughRiders here at Larks Park. First pitch will be a ball 1-0. We'll start. Kobe Grimsley picking up his first start on the season. It's appearance number 4 for the righty out of Central Oklahoma. Gets a call and strike here. 1-1 count. First pitch comes in at 7:06 Central Time here in north central Kansas. Line drive to left center field. Running back is Dylan Dreiling, and he will reach up with his right hand and record out number 1 on the run in front of the 349 marker in left center. Well struck from Morris, but Dreiling able to get there in time.
Number 13, Weston Miller.
So one away to Weston Miller, shortstop. Batting second in the order. RoughRiders coming to this game 0-7 on the season. They're 0-6 in league play, 8th in the league. In last place, 6 games back behind the Liberal BJs. As for the Larks, here Larks coming to this game 8-2 on the year. They're 4-1 in Rocky Mountain Baseball League play. 1.5 games back. They're in second place in league. Pop fly over to the right side. Hunter Rawson chases it. It drops in foul territory, and we'll go 0-1. Larks won their last 4 and won their 7 of their last 8. They were victorious last night against the RoughRiders for the second time this season, picking up a 12-6 victory. Ground ball back to Kobe Grimsley, who was a great defensive player and batter in high school. Decided to pitch in college, and he fields it well and gets it to first base in time for out number 1. 2 up, 2 down. Kobe Grimsley, who has yet to allow a run this season, has been very consistent for the Larks. He's coming to this game through his 3 appearances, 3 1/3 on the mound, 2 strikeouts, a trio of walks, just 1 hit, no runs. He's held his opponents to a 100 flat batting average. Ugly swing here from Keegan Soltis, and he's down the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty, 2 away, 0-2 count, top of the first, no score here in Hayes. Game 2 of a 6-game homestand for the Larks, and the 0-2 is lined over the right side. Tyler LaRue makes the catch on a leap. The first 1-2-3 inning on the season for Kobe Grimsley. He retires aside and takes us to the bottom half of the first inning. No score. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. Bottom of the first here in Hayes, Tanner Rice yet again in the leadoff spot for the Larks, the second baseman out of UTA. Having a really good stretch so far in the season, just an all-around good start to the season. Comes in this game with a 4-game hitting streak, sees one pitch, pops over the left side. Miller chases it, dives in foul territory, and comes up with the ball. What a play from the shortstop. Miller running down 100 feet to go and get that one. So Rice will be out on one pitch, and will take us to Austin Jaslove. Jaslove appeared in his first game against the RoughRiders as a Lark.
Austin Jaslove.
Larks have won 9 straight against the RoughRiders dating back to 2020. Looking for their 10th straight against them over the past 3 seasons, and their 5th straight win here in 2022. One away, base is empty. Jaslove takes this one inside. Terosian on deck for the Larks, LaRue in the hole after the pop out from Rice. David Jakimiak on the mound for the Colorado RoughRiders, getting the start. He's out of Lawrence University and has a 2-0 count. Stands at 6'2". Went to Centaurus High School in Colorado. PBR clocked his fastball with a max velo of 74.7 miles an hour, and his changeup in the low 60s. Same with that curveball of his. As Jaslove pops this one up over to the right side and foul. Opposite field this one goes, but it's going to be plenty foul. 2-2 with the count to the shortstop from the University of Tennessee. Lawrence University, a D3 school in Appleton, Wisconsin. D3 versus D1, and the Tennessee shortstop grounds one of the third baseman, Soltis, and it eats him up a little bit, and Jazz Love will reach safely at first base. The Larks get their first base runner of the game. And let's say it goes to Jack Terosian after that one. Still no call, and there we get the decision. That will be rolled an E5. First error of the game for either team. Terosian comes to the dish. He's been on fire so far in 2022, and his numbers show it. He has an on-base percentage at .600 flats. Picked up 14 hits through 32 at-bats, and the process has also walked 9 times and reached on 1 fielder's choice, and he's just a magnet to first base. He has an 0-1 count here, man. When he's on the base paths, that's just where the story starts. He's very dangerous. He stole 3 bases in yesterday's ball game against the RoughRiders, and sends this one up the middle. A diving effort from Miller. His second one will record out number 2. Miller having a great defensive bottom of the first. He robs Jack Terosian of a hit and gets out number 2. Gets Jazz Love back to first base. And we'll go to Tyler LaRue. Not the best contact we've seen from Terosian. He had the swing, just a soft pop fly / line drive up the middle. Takes us the cleanup man, Tyler LaRue. Tonight's first baseman after catching yesterday. He's batting .424 this season for the Larks. And has a called strike 1. LaRue this season against the RoughRiders. He's only played in 1 game, and it was yesterday. 4 at-bats, but in the process of those 4, 3 hits, 3 runs scored, and 6 runs driven in. And a home run and a double, and this one will plunk off the 2-6 on the back of his jersey, and Larks will put 2 on the base paths with 2 outs. Jazz Love at second, LaRue at first base. We go to the 5-hole. Dylan Dreiling, 1 of 3 Tennessee Volunteers on the roster, and 1 of 2 Hays, Kansas natives on the roster. Much different roster composition for the teams. Larks primarily D1 and JUCO players. RoughRiders have a little bit all over the place, and RoughRiders mostly Denver area Colorado guys. As for the Larks, Dylan and Hutchison, the only 2 Hays, Kansas natives on the roster. This one is going to be a wild pitch. Rice rounds third hard, Jazz Love rounds third hard, trips in the process, and goes back to third. 2 in scoring position for the Larks after the wild pitch. Larks have just those 2 players from the entire state of Kansas. They have 4 players that go to school in Kansas. This one would be in the inside corner to Dreiling. 1 ball and a strike with 2 outs. LaRue at second, Jazz Love at third in a scoreless first inning. Jakimiak will go from the stretch. The 6-2 grind he delivers. Dreiling swings above it. Goes down the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. These 2 teams will square off tomorrow night for the final game of this 3-game series. Larks looking to win it tonight. Colorado looking to tie it up. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 in scoring position. Dreiling digs back in the left-hander's batter's box and rips one to the right side. Folk slides for, backing him up as Brooks, and we won't get a throw to first. Dreiling will reach on an RBI single and bring home his future teammate at University of Tennessee, Austin Jazz Love. Dylan Dreiling racked up a ton of RBIs in Colorado and now has 16 on the season. That's second on the team behind Palmer Hutchison. Austin Jazz Love scores for the 7th time today. Not today, 7th time this season. And it'll take us to Hunter Rawson with runners on the corners. This one way outside of the left-hander's batter's box. 1-0 to Rawson. Rawson had kind of a slow start to the season, but has really picked it up since then. He's riding a 3-game hitting streak. And this year versus the RoughRiders, he's picked up 4 hits and 4 runs with 2 runs driven in. Chops one to the left side. It'll go foul. 6th hitter of the inning for Hays. It's the right fielder from the University of Texas at Arlington. He's a product of Weatherford Community College. One of a handful of Texas natives on the roster for the Larks. Had a home run against the RoughRiders on Sunday. Dylan Dreiling takes off from first base. A throw is going to be in plenty of time. What a dime from Miracle. Larks do score a run, but really the story of this inning is defense. Miller with 2 great diving catches from the shortstop spot, and then Miracle ends it with a dime down to second base. LaRue will be left at third base. Larks take a 1-0 lead to the second. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. One nothing Larks here in the top of the second. First pitch is going to be a ground ball right at Austin Jasliff. Scoops it at the letters, throws to first in time. 4 straight retired for the RoughRiders. All 4 brought to the plates. Been out on 2 ground outs, a line out, and a fly outs. Takes us to Dominic Bronk, the DH. Batting in the 5 hole for the RoughRiders. Bronk drew 3 walks yesterday at the plates, so only had 1 statistical at bat. He was out in it, went 0 for on the day, but scored twice over the course of 9 innings when the RoughRiders picked up 6. It was the first time a Larks and RoughRiders game had gone longer than 8 innings since 2020. Larks had 3 7-inning games against the RoughRiders last year off a doubleheader and a run rule, and then they had a run rule in 8 innings. 1-2 hit to left field. Dylan Dreiling will field it with ease out in the grass for out number 2. 2 away, bases empty for Kobe Grimsley and company. Grimsley throwing strikes today. Coming to this game, he threw strikes on just 57% of his pitches. Started off about 70% of his batters with the first pitch strike. Brings Brad's Benedetti to the dish. Was in left field yesterday. He's getting the start in center. And another first pitch strike here from Kobe Grimsley. Grimsley, an Oklahoma native. His parents made the trip up north from Oklahoma to watch their son play tonight at Larks Park. And a stadium atmosphere that you just can't beat. We got a packed house tonight at a park that holds 2,000 people. The 1-1 home. High and inside. 2 balls and a strike to the center fielder. Ground ball over to the right side. Tanner Rice moves to his left and can't field it. It'll be a 2-out base hit. And the first hit of the game for the Colorado RoughRiders. Runner on first with 2 away. That one Rice just couldn't get to. He has wheels. But that one was just in a really tough spot with some velo off the bat to get it past him. We go to Dom Folks at first base and batting in the 7th spot. He had the day off yesterday and gets a chopper up the middle. Jaslov dives for it, scoops it. The throw to first is a dime. Shortstops today aren't playing around. Jaslov the dive and the dime to first for out number 3. Larks get allow a single in the second, but will take a 1-0 lead to the bottom half of the inning. Bottom half of the second we go here in Hayes. Hunter Rawson will lead things off. Larks in the first inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 run scored, and 1 runner left on base. Call and strike here to Rawson. He was at the dish in the first inning when Dylan Dreiling was caught stealing, so we'll get a fresh count here against Jakimiak. First pitch was a call and strike. This one low and outside, 1-1 counts. Larks fans and RoughRiders fans, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the game on YouTube. It's completely free and it helps us out majorly. Rawson's timing off on this swing. He'll go down to the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rawson, a 5'11 junior from Aledo, Texas. Throws right and bats right-handed. Swings at one that ran outside and will be strikeout victim number 1 today from Jakimiak. And we'll have another inning start out with a out to no base runner. We'll go to Jackson Halter, the catcher. It's a nice beverage banner, so if you're a RoughRiders fan watching the game tonight or just new to Larks baseball or need a refresher, beverage banner's been a hit at Larks Park since I don't know when. My whole life I've been coming to games and it's always been a thing. If he gets a hit, which he'll do right here now, everybody at the ballpark gets half-price beverages from the Larks Nest in the concession stands. This one rolls to the corner, and Jackson Halter has a stand-up double and has been a thorn in the side of the RoughRiders this season. He has now gone 3 for 3 in his at-bats. He scored 3 times, driven in 5, walked 3 times, has a home run, a double, and has stolen 2 bases over the course of 1 game and 1 1/3 inning against the RoughRiders. So a bunch of fans leave the grandstand and go down to the concession stand and Larks Nest to go claim their half-price drinks thanks to Jackson Halter. Some guys love being the beverage banner. They like the attention. They like the pressure it puts on you. Some guys hate it because if you don't get a hit, sometimes the crowd will turn on you. But if you do get that hit, man, you're the hero in Hayes, Kansas for the Knights. No balls, 2 strikes here to Ben Ferenzi. Was the shortstop yesterday. Had a 0 for game and got moved to the left a little bit on the defensive lineman. Getting the start in the hot corner today. Has an 0-2 count. Off speed runs outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Braden Lucard on deck. Tanner Rice in the hole. The 1-2 ground to the shortstop Miller, who had a great first inning. Fields it, throws to first, and will beat Ferenzi out by 1 step for out number 2. But Halter reads it well, moves himself up 90 feet and gets himself at third base. Let's check out Braden Lucart, the DH. against the RoughRiders this year. He's played in one game. He's 2 of 4 at the plate. He's scored 3 times, driven into, and walked 1 time. Larks and the RoughRiders faced off on Sunday. Larks won it 20-3 in a game that was run ruled in the 6th inning. The run rule was moved up an inning. So Larks got a game wrapped up early and got to enjoy the rest of their Sunday in Colorado. It was one of 2 trips the Larks will take to Colorado this year. They'll start off the month of July with one out there, facing off against 4 different teams. 1-1 count here to the DH from the University of Oklahoma. Larks went 3-1 on their trip to Colorado, losing their first one, then winning the last 3. 1 against the RoughRiders, 1 against the Angels, and 1 against the Cougars. 2-1 count here to the DH. We're at the bottom of the order in the first inning. Larks have picked up 2 hits and a walk. They've scored 1. And are looking for more here. Halter ready at third base. 2-1 home. Catches the outside part of the plate. 2-2. Lukehart was a starting pitcher in yesterday's game. Had a uncharacteristic outing on the mound, but the Larks still got the win for their pitcher from St. Joseph, Missouri. He threw 3 innings in the start, gave up 5 hits, 6 earned run, struck out 4 in the process. Sam Hendon came in relief, threw 3, got the win, and then Cade Hare came in for 3 innings and picked up a save. The payoff pitch will miss the zone, and Lukehart works a walk, and we have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Out batting number 2, Tanner Rice.
Top of the order here in Hayes. Rice 0 from the day, popped out to Miller in foul territory to get the bottom of the first going. Saw 1 pitch and was out on it. This one will catch Tanner Rice and will be the second hit batter of the game. From Jakimiak. Bases jacked for Austin Jaslove. Big opportunity right here for Jazz. Batting .310 this year, slugging .552. He's driven in 8 runs off of 9 hits. Those 9 hits, 5 of them are singles, 2 doubles, 1 home run. He's the lone Lark to record a triple this year. He lines this one in the left field. The runners will be held where they're at, but scoring is Jackson Halter, and Larks take a 2-0 lead. Jazz Love on the board 2 times today. He's scored once and now driven in a run. Rice to second. Lukehart to third. Halter scoring.
Now batting number 1, Jack Rosian.
The math's correct. Larks outscoring the RoughRiders 34-9 this season. Through 16 2/3. And the ground ball goes over the right side. Folk slides forward. He races to Rose into the bag, dives and taps it with his glove, and will record out number 3. Trozy now 0 for 2 in the day. Larks leave 3 left on base and will take a 2-0 lead after scoring 1 in the second to the 3rd inning on Larks Network. Thank you for tuning in to the Larks Network here on a fine Thursday in Hayes. Larks up 2-0 in the top of the third as Colton Brooks, the second baseman, will lead things off for the RoughRiders. Grimsley to the mound for inning number 3. Grimsley has never thrown more than 1 1/3 prior to this outing, and his third inning will get started with a single into right center field. Brooks will be the first leadoff base runner of the game for Colorado.
Batting the catcher, number 34, Braden Miracle.
Bottom of the order here in the top of the third, Braden Miracle to the dish. The catcher with his third start behind the plates against the Larks this season. Miracle yesterday 0 for 3 with a walk. Swing and a miss here from the catcher. 0-1 counts. Nobody out. Runner at first base here in the bottom of the third in Hayes, Kansas. Grimsley called strike 2. Kind of a delayed call, but it was the right one. Grimsley's last outing was against the Saints on Monday. His 0-2 home, swing and a miss for strike 3. And what a dime from Jackson Halter. Throws it to second and time beat out. Colton Brooks by a few steps, and he just took the tag and heads back to the dugouts. So quick 2 outs now.
First baseman, number 1, Sam Lawrence.
Larks have been great defensively this season, especially those 3 catchers, Halter, LaRue, and Evans. 2-way, pitch outside on a fastball, 1-0. This first runner Halter's thrown out this season, trying to steal a base, but it was by a mile. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 away here to the top of the order, Sam Morris. Strikeout number 1 of the day from Grimsley on that last AB. Strikeout number 3 on the season. Line drive to left field. Larks face a minimum for the second time today, but allow a hit. Strikeouts, and then the dime from Halter. Now that lineup will end the third inning. Larks keep the RoughRiders off the scoreboard again and will take a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the third. Bottom half of the third here in Hayes. LaRue will lead things off for the Larks. It was plunked in the first inning, got all the way to third base, but was left there. Starts off the third inning down 0-1 against Jakimiak. Jakimiak this year at Lawrence. 0-1 on the season, 7 appearances, all of them in relief. Through 7 innings. 10 hits allowed, 6 runs earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Had an ERA of 7.71. The 0-2 home to LaRue will drop low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Continuing Jakimiak's numbers at Lawrence, a whip at 2 flats. A strikeout per 9 innings rate of 5.14. LaRue hits this one to the third baseman Soltis, fields it at the hip, throws to first base off a couple bounces, and the ball will not be able to be held on to by Fulks. He really had a stretch for that one, and LaRue will be aboard on an E5, the second E5 of the ball game for the Rough Riders.
Now batting number 33, Dylan Dreiling.
Dreiling to the dish, he single homer run back in the first inning and is looking for more here in the third. Larks have scored in each of the first 2 innings. As for the Rough Riders, 3 goose eggs through 3 innings at the plate. The first delivery to Dreiling above the letters 1-0. Rough Riders again wearing white home pants on the road. The black jerseys with the Rough Rider logo on the front, white caps. Larks white home pants, white vests, red sleeves with the red trim on the vests, or red lettering on the vest with a blue trim. 1 ball, 1 strike as LaRue gets his lead at first base. Dreiling hits this one over to the right side. It'll be fielded by Fulks. The throw to second in time, the throw to first not in time. And Dreiling will reach on the fielder's choice. Dreiling was thrown out the last time he was on the base pass. We'll see what he can do here in the third. It's weird to see Dreiling get thrown out. He's a guy with some wheels. Larks have a lot of speed. And he was thrown out for the first time this season. So now 1 for 2. Larks have stolen 29 bases on 32 attempts. First pitch here to Rawson will miss the zone. 1 ball, no strike. Rawson, another guy with some speed. He stole 19 bases in his sophomore year at Weatherford, 10 in his freshman year. So combined with his 2020 season, 33 career stolen bases for the junior from Aledo, Texas. 1-1 count here with 1 away to the right fielder. 0 from the day with a strikeout back in the second inning is the lone strikeout of the day. 1-2 count now to Rawson. He's looking. Rawson has struggled with the strikeouts this season. He's been struck out 7 of his 32 plate appearances. Now 8 of his 33 appearances. Ground ball over to the right side. Brooks shuffles towards it. Fields it between his legs. Throw to first is in time. Rawson 0 for 2, but he pushes Dylan Dreiling to second base.
Your beverage batter, number 5, Jackson Halter.
Dish Hall is really going to repeat his luck from the last inning when he doubled and scored. That run from Jackson Halter was his 6th of the season as a catcher. He doesn't get a run a whole lot. Sometimes the Larks will use a courtesy runner on their catcher. Sometimes they let him run. Hunter Rawson scored 2 runs as a courtesy runner the other day, running for Brady Evans, who's out of the order tonight, getting some rest. 1-0 count here to Halter. Inside delivery, it's off the glove of Miracle. Dreiling moves up to third base as Miracle chases it. Jakimiak comes to the plate to cover. Dreiling 90 feet from making it a 3-0 ball game. 2 balls, no strikes to Halter with 2 away in the bottom of the third. Hayes up by 2. Dreiling has scored 11 times this season. That single in this inning was his 4th of the kind, his 11th hit on the year. The 2-0 inside towards the feet of Halter. Jakimiak not wanting to give him anything over the plate, and consequence of that is a 3-0 count. Ferenzi on deck if the Larks need him. Lukart in the hole. The 3-0, Jakimiak from the stretch. Halter with the green light, a little too eager, grounds over the right side. And we'll go 3-1 hitters counts for the catcher from Seminole State. Throws right-handed, is one of a number of guys who throws right-handed but hits left-handed. You saw him throw at a guy at the top of this inning at Seminole State this year. He had a perfect 1,000 fielding percentage, and will be walked on 5 pitches here. Larks get their second walk of the game. Halter's 5th of the season as we go to Ben Ferenzi with runners on the corners, 2 away. Halter has now walked 4 times against the Rough Riders this season. Frenzy grounded out his last AB, his only AB of the day. He takes a ball here to start off his at-bats. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away. Halter at first, Drowling at third. Drowling gets his lead at third base, a few feet in front of his grandfather, head coach Frank Leo. His 40th year at the head of the Larks. Leo has had a ton of success as a Larks head coach. He's a NBC Hall of Fame inductee, also a Kansas Sports Hall of Fame inductee back in 2005. Was a 11 years before that, he was a Class A 5A. Class 5A Coach of the Year at Hayes High, and in 1998, Kansas Coach of the Year and Region 5 National Coach of the Year. 1-2 count to the Australian third baseman. Leo and Harper have seen a ton of talents play for the Larks over the past 4 decades for Leo, the past 18 years for Coach Harper as the assistant. It's cool for Leo to be able to coach his grandson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two home to Ferenzi, and it'll be strikeout number 2 of the day. Virgil Kamiak on one that ran outside. Ferenzi chased it and is now 0 for 6 against the Rough Riders this season. To the 4th inning we go. Hayes up 2-0. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. Top of the 4th we go here in Hayes. Weston Miller, who is getting his 2nd straight start at shortstop against the Larks in Hayes, will lead things off. Kobe Grimsley returns for inning number 4. He's faced the minimum 2 times today. Has faced just 1 over the minimum. Overall on the day, we'll call a strike here to Weston Miller. Miller, the coach of the Rough Riders in the Sunday game with Adam Miller. Played, coached, did it all. 1-2 count to the shortstop tonight. Soltis on deck with Gaselli in the hole. Rough Riders Larks held off the scoreboard for the first time in the 3rd inning. Line drive over the head of Grimsley. He can't reach it, but it'll bounce to Tanner Rice, and he'll get it in time to first base for out number 1.
Now batting number 12, Keegan Soltis.
Keegan Soltis to the box. He lined out to Tyler LaRue on a leaping catch from LaRue to end the top half of the 1st inning. Grimsley has retired 3 straight Rough Riders as we go to the 3-hole third baseman. First pitch to him, line to the right side. It's going to be trouble if it's in fair territory, and it is. It rolls to the corner. Hunter Rosson gets to it, and it'll be a stand-up double for Keegan Soltis, his first hit of the game. Runner in scoring position with one away in the fourth.
Number 33, Noah Giselli.
So cleanup guy, Noah Giselli, the left fielder, grounded out to Austin Jaslev to get the second inning going in his lone at-bat of the day. He batted cleanup yesterday in a 1-for-4 effort. Also walked in the game and struck out. Larks struck out 11 guys yesterday, 4 from Luke Hart, 2 from Hendon, and 5 from Cade Hare. One away, the first delivery to Giselli, a fastball missing low, 1-0. Halter protects it from getting past him as it bounces off the turf. 1-0 count. Grimsley gets set. Is forced to go from the stretch. Misses in the same spot. 2-0. Bronk on deck. Benedetti in the hole. Grimsley, a 6'1" sophomore for the Central Oklahoma Broncos. Sees a line drive, gets sent to the backstop. 2 balls and a strike. This year for the Broncos, Grimsley made 12 appearances. 2 of them starts, struck out 21. Over the course of 18 2/3. Before that, he was at Murray State with Larks catcher Brady Evans. Pitched in 20 games on relief. Went 1-3, struck out 32 through 20 2/3. Had the highest K9 on the team. This one's grounded to the second baseman of Rice. The throw will not be in time. It's a scoreboard shows an E4. And we get runners on the corners.
Now batting number 7, Dominic Bronk.
Larks looking for an inning-ending double play. They turned a couple DPs yesterday. And they're looking for one right here. It's Jaslev at short, Rice at second base. Looking to turn one. This one catches a low outside corner. No balls and a strike. In his career at Murray State, it was 25 appearances for Grimsley. 4 starts, so he's been primarily a reliever and is getting his first start as a Lark today. Ground ball down the left field line, but it'll just miss the third base back to the left side, and Larks will breathe a sigh of relief, and Bronson back to the batter's box with an 0-2 count. The DH flew out to Dylan Dryling in left field for the second out of the second inning. And is looking to bring home Soltis from third base. Hunter Parker, with his glove in his right hand, heads down to the bullpen. See how long the Larks want to take Kobe Grimsley. They haven't thrown a pitcher more than 5 innings this season. Runner takes off, and Grimsley catches in no man's land, but he's got to keep an eye on that runner at third base. They're going to catch Giselli in a pickle. They still have an eye on the runner at third base. Runner breaks home. The throw from Rice is going to be a good one, and they will get a safe call from Soltis. He slid around the tag of Jackson Halter, and Larks fans unhappy with the call, but from my view, it did look like that right hand hit the plates before the tag was applied from Halter, as much as I don't want to say it. So a chaotic situation right there goes in favor of the RoughRiders. Moving into second base is Giselli. Soltis scores from third base. The lead is cut in half. It's 2-1 Larks. 0-2 count. One away to Dominic Bronk. So a miss inside Halter's frame. Doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Tony Vega. 1-2 counts. Grimsley's thrown 32 pitches today, 23 in the zone. Gets a line drive to the left side. Dylan Dryling waits on it, fields it, and staying at third base, not rounding it, is Giselli. Bronx singles the second hit of the inning. 2 hits and error so far here in the fourth inning. A run scored. Runners on the corners. Larks could turn a double play here to end it. fourth hit allowed, from Kobe Grimsley. 1-0 count here to Brett Benedetti, who singled in the second inning and then was left at first base after the ground out from Folks. He's a lone runner left on base on the day for the RoughRiders. 1-0 counts, and Keith Harper's out of the dugout to have a chat with his righty. One 0 counts, one away. The mound visit from Harp is done. Getting their lead at first base is Bron Caselli at third base. Grimsley, cool, calm, collected, misses inside, 2-0. Grimsley, one of three guys who have played or will play in the MIAA conference, but we'll get to that in a second. Ground ball to Jaslov, to Rice, in time to LaRue at first base. A 6-4-3 double play, and the Larks get just what the doctor ordered. Leave that runner at third base and only allow one run in the fourth inning, and we'll take a one-run lead to the bottom half. Hayes up 2-1. Braden Lukehart to lead things off from the bottom of the order in the bottom of the fourth. Sees one pitch, pops it up a mile high to the team from the Mile High City. Miracle dishes the face mask and will make the catch down the third base line for ounce number one. Lukehart hopeful in the day with the walk now. RoughRiders scored their first and only run of the game in the fourth inning. 2 hits, 1 run, and a runner left on base. Larks forfeited 1 error, but got that inning-ending double play. Whatever Hart told Grimsley, it worked, and he got a ground ball on the right to the shortstop, Jaslov. Fly ball into center field off the bat of Tanner Rice, and quick 2 outs for Jakimiak on a couple of pitches as Rice will fly out to Benedetti. 2 away as we go to the 2-hole. Austin Jaslov, 1 for 2 in the day after reaching on an error in the first and scoring, and then singling home a run in the second inning. Larks scoreless since that single with 2 outs. Two-way base empty. Hayes up by 1 in the bottom half of the 4th. First pitch to Jaslov. Runs outside. 1 ball, no strikes to the shortstop from Knoxville. He's a 6'2 redshirt freshman from the University of Tennessee. Grounds one of the third baseman, Soltis. Fields it in time to first base. 4 pitches for Jakimiak in the 4th inning. And retires aside. 3 up, 3 down as we move to the 5th. Hayes up 2-1. Top of the 5th, Kobe Grimsley back to the mound. Line drive on 1 pitch will be caught by Tyler LaRue, and Folks will be a quick out, number 1 of the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2 with a ground down to Jaslov, and now a line out to LaRue. 1 away to Colton Brooks, the second baseman, 1 for on the day with a single to right field. Has a quarter of the hits on the day for the Rough Riders. Pop fly over to the right side. Out of play. Larks went down in order in the 4th inning on just 4 pitches. And we're held scoreless for the second straight inning. Scored 1 in each of the first 2 innings and then scoreless since. Rough Riders scoreless in the first 3 and then got 1 back in the 4th. It's cut the deficit in half. 1-0 count to Colton Brooks in the 8-hole. Miracle on deck. Morris in the hole for the Rough Riders. Ground ball up the middle. Ferenzi will field it. That's Jaslov at short. And gets a scoop and throw to first base in time. 2 up, 2 down on 3 pitches.
Batting number 34, Braden Miracle.
Braden Miracle to the dish. Struck out in the 3rd inning swinging against Grimsley. Grimsley from the windup. Misses low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes to the bottom of the order catcher. Larks do have a right-hand arm up in the pen. As we get a ground ball to Jaslov. And the Larks will work a 5-pitch 5th inning after going down on 4 pitches. Grimsley faces the minimum for the 3rd time today and will take us to the bottom half of the 5th. Larks up 2-1. Grimsley in a groove. Bottom of the fifth at Larks Park in downtown Hayes, Kansas. Terosian will lead things off. He's 0 for 2 today. Sees one pitch and grounds it to the right field side and will get a leadoff base hit. Now let's see when the Larks inevitably do allow him to steal seconds. Terosian's hit streak now at 5 games. He leads the team in stolen bases. Was a speed threat at Hutchinson Community College, stole 29 bases there in his 2-year career. And the Omaha, Nebraska native will be at first base as the Texas native LaRue comes to dish. Been aboard 2 times, one off of an error, one off of a hit by pitch. First delivery to him, outside low, 1-0. Into the left-hander's batter's box. Drilling on deck, Rawson in the hole for Hayes. Terosian always looks ready to run, has a stance while he's getting his lead that shows that he's going to run. Really turns his torso to second base and is ready for anything. Still gets his body turned and back in safely to first when he's getting picked off, or a pickoff attempt at least. He's never been picked off as a Lark. LaRue's pop fly will go back over the net and into the grandstand. So we'll have a 2-1 count to LaRue. Fan throws it back onto the field. RoughRiders get out of the dugout to go and reach it. Terosian, after that base hit, is now 4 of 8 against the RoughRiders this year with 3 runs scored, 2 runs driven in, 2 walks, and 3 stolen bases. He's taken off on the 2-1 and LaRue swinging. Leo is going to let him round second hard, and Terosian makes the wise decision to hold up at second. Rounded it hard, looked like he was going to go for 3, and I thought maybe he could get there, but he will stay at second. Larks get back-to-back singles and have 2 on with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Go to Dylan Dreiling, 1 for 2 in the day with a single, and he reached on a fielder's choice. Was talking when he was at third base in front of his grandfather Leo about the talent that Leo's gone to coach. Let's take a look at some of the guys that have gone through the Larks program. So right now we got Jace Tingler in the Major League ranks, and what the heck, we'll continue that in a second. Larks get their 3rd straight single. Ball goes into right field, and we won't get a throw home. Terosian scores easily from second base without a throw. Dreiling, his 2nd RBI of the day. Terosian, his 1st run of the day. Larks keep the line moving, 2 on with nobody out still, and they have a 3-1 lead. RBI for Dreiling, number 17 on the year. That's just 1 behind Hutchison for the team lead. Run number 16 this year for Terosian. That is the team lead. So Hunter Rawson to the dish, sees 1 pitch, sends it to right field. Morris with a bad read, went back like he was going to the warning track and then sprints in. The ball will miss his glove. It's going to be an E9. And the Larks, they do rule a single for Hunter Rawson. So 4 straight singles. LaRue to third, Dreiling to second, Rawson to first base. And the bases are loaded after Morris just couldn't get to that ball. He did do damage control to keep it around him and not let it roll back and allow LaRue to score. So as I was going with the Larks guys who have played through the program, Jace Tingler played for the Larks a while ago. He's now the bench coach for the Twins and was the manager of the San Diego Padres in 2020 and 2021. Halter, line drive to right field. Morris, a bad read again. It goes over his head, bounces off the warning track, hits the wall. And because guys were waiting on it, will only get Rawson to second base, but it'll be a 2 RBI single for Jackson Halter, the beverage batter. So he gets the Larks 2 runs and gets the fans half-price beverages. It's a 5-1 ball game, still nobody out. RBIs 1 and 2 in the day. He's had a double against him, and now that's 7 RBIs for Jackson Halter against the RoughRiders. LaRue scores for the first time today. Dreiling scores for the first time today. For Dylan Dreiling, that is runs scored number 12 on the season. And for Tyler LaRue, runs scored number 10. Larks up by 4 as we go to Ben Ferenzi. Rawson at second, Halter at first. So still continuing the Larks legacy. The Larks had B.J. Ryan go through the program. He's a two-time All-Star in the MLB. Jack Wilson also played for the Larks. He was a All-Star and Silver Slugger in 2004. We have a few guys playing for the Larks who played for the Larks in the minor leagues right now. Carlos Tavera, who played for the Larks for 3 years, not 3 complete years, but over 3 different years, made appearances for the Larks, is in the Orioles organization and was just racked up an accolade as an Oriole minor leaguer. Cesar Gomez, his teammate at UTA and a teammate at the Larks. And the Houston Astros organization, as Hunter Rawson makes a mad dash to third base and will be in barely safe, but will take it. Puts himself 90 feet from scoring run number 6 of the day. Stolen base number 3 this year for Rawson in just as many attempts. Runners on the corner, still nobody outs. Ferenzi showed bunt on the first pitch, pulls back, and now has a 2-1 count. Larks also had Lance Berkman play for them. He's a 6-time All-Star, was the 2011 World Series champion on the Cardinals, and the NL Comeback Player of the Year. And then the most notable Lark of all time, and one of the most notable MLB players of all time, Albert Pujols, played for the Larks a few decades ago. A 3-time National League MVP and a 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, and the 2001 Rookie of the Year, 6-time Silver Slugger, one of the greatest to ever do it, played right here at Larks Park under Frank Leo in front of this community. So it's a legacy these guys get to continue, as Ferenzi will be hit and sent to first base. Or the ball went behind him and they held up the guy, so I can only assume it hit him. Game changer doesn't show, and I had my head down looking at Albert Pujols' accolades when the pitch happens. So anyway, the bases are loaded. Halter at second with Halter now at first. Rawson at third base, 1-0 counts. Home to Braden Lucar, ground to the right side. Diving effort from Brooks stops the ball. Looks around, decides to go to first. Lucar will ground out, but he will drive in a run on the process. Rawson scores. Halter moves up to third base. Ferenzi to second. Larks up 6-1, and that's the first out of the inning, and what's been a 4-run fifth.
Now landing top of the lineup, number 2, Tanner Rice.
2 in scoring position with 1 away for Tanner Rice at the top of the order, the 8th hitter of the inning. He's 0 for 2. He was plunked in the second inning and is one of just 3 Larks to not score. Sends a ground ball up the middle. Miller dives for it. It's off his glove, and they're going to send Ferenzi home. It's a 2 RBI base hit for Tanner Rice, and the Larks take an 8-1 lead. Larks have 6 singles this inning. They started off with 5 straight singles, and the inning keeps going. For Jakimiak on the mound, there is a southpaw up in the pen for the RoughRiders. Halter scores for the second time today. Ferenzi for the first time. Rice picks up 2 RBIs. So now every Lark either has an RBI or a run scored. We've had a hit by pitch, 6 singles and a ground out in this inning, and this is the 9th hitter of the inning, Austin Jaslov. Down the count 0-1, sends a pop fly over to the left side. Miller will call off his third baseman, Soltis, and record out number 2 on the third base side. Runner at first base with 2 away, and what's been a good inning for the Larks, who have now batted around. Brings up Jack Terozzi into the dish. He singled to start off this inning and scored. Tried to steal second, then LaRue sent a single down the gap, so it scratched off his stolen base a 10th. Every Lark that's come to the plate this inning, other than Jaslov and Rice at first base, has either scored or driven in a run. Actually, Rice has driven in a run. Every Lark except Rice and Jaslove and Luke Arts have scored a run in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Larks could run rule the Rough Riders if they get 3 runs and hold them scoreless. It wouldn't be the first time that they've run rolled a team this season. 2 balls, 1 strike. Reads the score by Larks Park. Tony Vega holds up his hand. It's a 3-0 count to Terosian. The 3-0 home. He's taken all the way right down the pipe. 3-1 hitters counts for the center fielder from Omaha, Nebraska. Larks on the quest for their 3rd straight Rocky Mountain Baseball League championship in their 3rd year in the league. Ground ball goes to Brooks, fields it at his thigh, has some trouble with it, but picks it up off the turf and gets to throw to first base in time. Larks get 6 singles in the inning, score 6 runs, bring 10 to the plate, and will end the inning with an 8-1 lead as we go to the 6th inning here in Hayes. Hunter Parker into the game for the 6th inning. He's an Aurora native. Goes to Fort Hays State University. He's the lone tire on the roster for the Larks, who are coached by 3 Fort Hays alumni. This one misses low, 1-0. Frank Leo, the head coach of the Larks, played at University of Albuquerque and then Fort Hays. Keith Harper, the pitching and assistant coach, played basketball and baseball at Fort Hays, was an all-conference selectee in 1975. Ground ball to the third baseman, Ferenzi. A nice throw on a hop to first base in time for out number 1 of the 6. 6 straights retired for the Larks. 1 away. And then Andy Loon, who's in his first year coaching for the Larks, played at Barton Community College, and then coached 6 years at Fort Hays after playing for the Fort Hays State Tigers. 1 away, Hunter Parker takes over on the mound from Kobe Grimsley, who's in position to pick up win number 1 on the season. Line drive bounces one time in front of Austin Jaslov, whose throw to first is in time for out number 2 of the 6. Appearance number 5 on the season for Hunter Parker. His 3rd straight in relief. He pitched against the Rough Riders on July 21st of last year, and the Larks run ruled the Rough Riders 13-2. He threw 5 innings in the start, picked up the win, striking out 4. Two-way, Hunter Parker gets set, goes from the windup, and gets a called strike one. Parker from the windup, the 0-1 home, popped back and over the grandstand. Will go 0-2 with the counts. Hunter this year gone 7 1/3 before this outing. 1 start, 1-0 on the season. Giving up 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 9 punch-outs. The 0-2 from the Colorado native gets a swing and a miss, and Hunter Parker works a 1-2-3 inning, the 4th 1-2-3 inning on the day for the Larks, and they have now retired 7 straight, strikeout number 10 on the season for Hunter Parker, and in his Larks career, strikeouts number 46 as a Lark. Bottom of the 6th we go here in Hayes. Hayes up by 7. First baseman from Houston Baptist, Tyler LaRue will lead things off for the Larks. In the 6th inning, he's been aboard in all 3 plate appearances, been hit, reached on an error, and singled, and scored in the 5th inning. 0-1 count here, tonight's first baseman. LaRue, a 6'2 junior for the Huskies, now the Southern Conference. It's a pop fly behind the dish. Miracle loses the mask, runs and makes the catch right in front of the backstop. A nice play from the catcher for outs number 1 of the 6th. One away, bases empty as we go to Dylan Dreiling. 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of singles, a run scored as well. Dylan picked up 2 RBIs. 1 in the 5th inning, 1 in the 1st inning. Larks have 9 hits. They've walked 2 times, scored 8, and left 7 on the base paths. No balls and a strike to the Tennessee commit from Hayes, Kansas. 0-1 outside, 1 ball and a strike. Dreiling, a 6-foot freshman for Tennessee. Played in 13 games for the Larks last summer, batted .359, slugged .487. As a 1-1 count, 1 away, bases empty in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Rawson on deck, Halter in the hole for Hayes. 1-1 grounded hard to the second baseman. Brooks fields it, throws to first in time. 2 up, 2 down to start the 6th inning for Hayes. That'll take us to Hunter Rawson. Rawson 1 for 3 today with a ground out, a strikeout, a single, and a run scored. Larks up by 7. They had a 6-run 5th inning and start much differently here in the 6th. They had 5 straight base hits to start off the 5th inning and now start for the pop out and the ground out. Rawson scored the 4th run of that 6-run 5th inning and would like to get on base again here He put his hitting streak at 4 games in the last inning and has a 0-1 count here. He will foul this one off himself. Be in some pain in the right-hander's batter's box, and he'll have a 0-2 count. Tells the dugout that he's okay and gives him a head nod, gets up and walks it off. Rawson had the day off yesterday and looks to be okay, thankfully. Rawson in a 4-game hitting streak. Sends an 0-2 over to the right side of foul. He played for the Orange County Legends in the summer of 2019 after his first year of college ball. Played in just 3 games for the Legends. Has already played in more than that for the Larks. This is game number 10 of 11. 1-2 counts for Rawson, 2-way bases empty. Hayes up by 7. A little early on this swing. He's frustrated with himself that he didn't get a hold of it. Have a 1-2 counts. Do for the RoughRiders, part of the order 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Gassilli, Bronk, and Benedetti in that order. 1-2 to Rawson, outside, good eye, 2-2. Rawson played in 82 games at Weatherford. Picked up 82 hits and 52 RBIs. Watches this one miss into left-hander's batter's box, and he'll get a payoff pitch with the full counts. Still Jakimiak on the mound for the RoughRiders, and the righty gets set, goes from the stretch. The payoff pitch sent to the right side, and Morris will get under it and record outs number 3. Each team has a 1, 2, 3, 6. Score remains 8-1 as we move to the 7th here in Hayes.
You're tuned in to the Larks Network.
Top of the 7th here in Hayes. Hunter Parker returns for his 2nd inning on the mound. And gets a fly ball over the right side from Gaselli, the left fielder. No balls and a strike with nobody out, nobody on in the top half of the 7th inning. One and one count here to the left fielder. He's 0 for 2 in the day after reaching on an error in the 4th inning, getting all the way to third, but being stranded there was Kobe Grimsley on the mound. He's getting his first look at Hunter Parker, who worked a 1-2-3-6. Pop fly over to the right side of the infield. Tanner Rice takes a step back, moves in and to his left, and makes the catch in front of his face for out number 1. Larks have retired 8 straight. RoughRiders down to their final 8 outs at the plate. They're down by 7. Brock digs in the left-hander's batter's box versus the righty Parker. And he went 1 for 2 against Grimsley through the first 4 innings and swings above this one. No balls and a strike. Parker, one of just 2 Larks from last year's roster that are playing in today's game. The other one, Dylan Dreiling. But Jeminian, Terbeek, Brown, Evans, Rose, Hutchison, all with the day off. No balls, 2 strikes here to Brock. Singled in the 4th inning. And the inning that the RoughRiders scored their lone run. Line drive to left field. Dylan Dreiling, a diving catch in left field. What a catch. The Larks defense has been showing up and showing out tonight. And that is 9 straight retired for the RoughRiders. Looking a little shaken up in left field after diving for that one. But that was a great play to record out number 2. Two away for Brent Benedetti. 1 for 2 today. He had an inning-ending double play in the 4th inning after singling in the 2nd. Swings at this one. No balls and a strike. Do it for the Larks. Bottom of the order. Halter, Ferenzi, and Luke Arts. 0-1 grounded hard to the third base side. This one will get past Ferenzi. Roll close to the corner. Dylan Dreiling will scoop it in foul territory. And it'll be a 2-out double for Brett Benedetti to break the streak of 9 straight RoughRiders retired. Folks to the box now. He's 0 for 2, lining out to Kobe Grimsley and grounding out to Austin Jaslov. Looking for hit number 1 to bring home run number 2 in the day. (1-0). This one misses inside. Grimsley's final line on the mound, 5 innings pitched. Just 48 pitches, a great ratio right there. Threw strikes on 69% of his pitches. Gave up 4 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 earned run. It's his lone earned run of the season. No walks also for him on the day. Started off 10 of his 18 faced with a first pitch strike. Went through the order 2 times exactly, no more, no less. So this one will bounce off a halter, but it'll be a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2-away runner at second base in the 7th inning for Dom Folks. Larks looking for win number 9 on the season and their 5th straight, and a jump a little bit closer to the Liberal in the RMBL race. 2-1 Parker from the stretch, swing and a miss on a fastball. 2-2 counts. Parker played in 10 games for the Larks last summer, 8 of them starts, leading the team in that category. Pitched a complete game shutout on July 13th versus Fort Collins and went 4-0 on the mound. Looks at the runner on second, delivers the 2-1 home, fouled over close to the Larks dugouts. Larks 4-0 against the RoughRiders last year, 2-0 this year, and they went 3-1 against them in 2020. Looking to continue their success. The 2-2 home from Parker, grounded over the left side, and it will go to third base coach and head coach Adam Miller. his second game coaching in Hayes after missing the game on Sunday after taking a ball to the face in the batting cage during warm-ups and getting sent to the hospital. But we're glad he's okay and was able to make the trip to Hayes. Benedetti still standing at second base with 2 away. It's the second double of the game for the RoughRiders, just their 5th hit. 2-2, number 3 grounded to the Larks dugout, bounces off the front of it. The Larks have scored 8 runs off of 9 hits. They've picked up 2 walks in the process and left 7 on base. RoughRiders 5 hits, 0 walks, 1 run scored, 2 left on base. The fourth 2-2 from Parker misses outside, and we'll get a payoff pitch from the Tiger. He was one of 2 Fort Hays State Tigers on the roster last year, along with Grant Schmidt, who had a great year. Grant officially has wrapped up his baseball career as Parker misses high and outside and will walk the first RoughRider of the day. Just the 4th walk allowed this season for Hunter Parker through 8 2/3. He walked 7 last year through 40 innings. This is a guy who just goes up there and throws strikes. He throws strikes on 70% of his pitches. This one is a ball, 1-0. Home, sent to the backstop, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 from Parker, hit to left center field. Drowning is going to let it bounce. Adam Miller will send the runner home. Drowning's throw will go to Ferenzi, and the RoughRiders will have a 2-out rally, a double, a walk, and now a single. Cuts the deficit to 6. Benedetti scores. Brooks picks up the RBI and brings Miracle to the dish. 2 on, 2 outs.
Number 34, Braden Miracle.
Scored in the 4th inning and now score 1 in the 7th. They're down to their final 7 outs. Larks working a good tempo in this game. Parker's not a guy who likes to waste time on the rubber. Throws home, will miss. Actually, will catch his own, but it bounced off Halter's glove. 0-1 counts. 6th hitter of the inning for the RoughRiders. We're at the bottom of the order. Miracle, who's 0 for 2. He's the last batter that Parker hasn't faced. 0-1 home, lined to the RoughRiders dugout, and we're 1 strike away from ending the inning yet again. Before he was at Fort Hays, Hunter Parker was at Western Nebraska, played 2 years there, making 22 appearances, 14 starts, picked up 7 wins. This one goes off the inside of the bats of Miracle and sent over the grandstand here at Larks Park. 2 teams will meet up tomorrow for the last game of the series. The Larks will have 2 games against the Cougars, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Monday off, and then take on the Cannons on Tuesday. Hunter Parker picks up his 2nd strikeout on the day. S1 looking. Strikeouts number 11 on the season for Hunter Parker, and he will end the inning. RoughRiders get a run back. They're down by 6, however, as we move to the 7th inning stretch here in Hayes, Kansas. Bottom of the 7th here in Hayes. Jackson Halter will lead it off for the Larks. New pitcher in the game, Ryan Chacon, his second appearance against the Larks this season. Threw 1 inning on the game on Sunday. Gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks in the 20-3 victory for the Hayes Larks. He goes to Oklahoma Christian, a Division II school in the Lone Star Conference. He's from North Glen, Colorado. Stands at 5'11". The southpaw has a 1-1 count against Halter, who is having a good day. 2 of 2 with a walk, a single, and a double. 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in. Just one above the letters. 2 balls and a strike to Halter. for Renzi on deck with Lucard in the hole for Hayes. Just a slight breeze moving in from right field. An otherwise gorgeous night here in Hayes. 2-1, Chacon from the stretch. Misses outside, 3-1.
Thirsty's Brew Pub and Grill, Kaiser Liquor, for providing ice cool Larksness, where you'll always find the coolest drinks in town.
Halter takes some time out of the batter's box. He's given the Larks fan top price beverages 2 times tonight, with a single in the 5th and a double in the 2nd. Sends one to deep left field. Gaselli's on a run. He's sprinting and it'll drop. He barehands the ball off the grass, and it will be the 3rd hit of the day for Jackson Halter. And he gives the fans what they want: half-price drinks and a base hit. Leadoff base runner at first for the Larks with a 6-run lead. Larks fans, RoughRiders fans, baseball fans, and to whoever's watching the stream, you saw the be sure to subscribe ad between innings, but we ask that you subscribe while you're watching the stream, whether you're a fan of the Larks. We put these streams on for free, and subscribing helps us out so much. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be a part of YouTube's creators list, so we can do a lot more stuff with the broadcast. And we look at the analytics and we see that 50% of the people who watch our streams are not subscribed, so that's all we ask. We put these on for free, so be sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell and you'll get notified for tomorrow's game, Game 3 against the RoughRiders. Jackson Halter steals second base in the meantime with Ben Ferenzi at the dish. That is Jackson Halter's 3rd stolen base against the RoughRiders. Puts himself in scoring position with Ferenzi at the plate, who's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. 1 away at the letters, or 1-0 count at the letters, becomes a 1-1 count, no outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Lucard on deck, Rice in the hole for Hayes. Halter reads this one well, takes off for third base, ground ball to left side, Miller scoops it. The throw to first is going to be off the bag, but I don't think would have got Ferenzi anyway. It's a base hit for the Larks, their 11th hit of the day, and they have runners on the corners with nobody outs. If the Larks were to score 4 this inning, it would end the game. They scored 1 in each of the first 2 innings, and then silence in the 3rd and 4th innings, and then picked up 6 runs in the 5th. Halter at 3rd, Ferenzi at 1st for Braden Lucard, the DH, 0 for 2. He's one of 2 Larks today. Actually, he's the only Lark without a hit, but he has reached. He's one of 2 Larks to not score, but he drove in a run earlier in the game. Called strike here to Lucard to get the AB going. Lucard, a 6-foot freshman from University of Oklahoma. There's a lefty on the mound and a lefty in the box. Facing off against the lefty, Chacon. Moving around at first base, Ferenzi trying to distract Chacon. It'll be enough to make a miss high and outside, 1-1 counts. Taking off for second base is Ferenzi. Check swing from Lucard. He sends it to the Larks dugouts. And so the foul ball will make it a 1-2 count. Lukart, one of 2 Sooners on the roster for Hayes, along with Larks' second-year pitcher and first baseman / right fielder / DH, Cade Brown. Get some fresh balls for the home plate umpire, Tony Vega, and Ryan Chake on the mound, and take a pause for it and let Braden Lukart dig back in the left-hander's batter's box. We'll see if Ferenzi runs again. Ground ball goes to the right side. It'll be in time for second for 1, but the throw to first will not be in time. It's going to be an RBI fielder's choice for Braden Lukart, his second RBI of the day. Scoring for the 3rd time today is Jackson Halter. He has now scored 6 runs against the RoughRiders this season. One away, runner at first base. In a 9-2 ball game. Top of the order, Tanner Rice making his 5th plate appearance of the day. Check over at first is going to be unsuccessful. Lukart will go to second base. Ball got away from Fulks. It'll be the 3rd error of the game for the RoughRiders. Shagon had 2 wild pitches against the Larks on Sunday. Inside to Rice on the curveball, 1-0. Jakibiak's final stat line, 6 innings pitched. He throws 98 pitches. 61 of those were strikes. He gave up 10 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks. 1-0 inside off the glove, a miracle. It allows Lukart to go headfirst sliding into third base safely. Slid away from the bag, but kept one hand on it at all times. Be a pass ball, 2-0 counts. Rice singled in his last AB in the 5th inning and drove in a run. He's driven in 2 today, and he's looking for another one. Drove in 2 runs actually in that 5th inning. 2-1 count to the second baseman from UTA. Jaslov on deck, Terosian in the hole for Hayes. Two-one lined to the backstop. We'll go 2-2 with the counts. Larks going to bring Hunter Parker back out for the 8th inning. Larks double the amount of hits. Read the game changer, but that's incorrect. They don't have the double amount of hits of the RoughRiders. It's 11-6. And Rice will be out number 2 of the inning.
Now batting number 3, Austin Jaslov.
2-way for Austin Jaslov. Singled in the 2nd inning, reached on an error in the 1st. Has driven in a run and scored a run. Scored in the 1st, drove in that run in the 2nd inning. Two-away for Austin Jaslov at the plate, trying to bring home Lukart. First pitch, a called strike to the shortstop. On count for Jazz. This delivery is swung on and he misses it. Swings above it. 0-2 count with 2 away. Due up for the RoughRiders. It'll be the top of the order. Morris, Miller, and Soltis. 0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Larks with 2 hits this inning. They've already scored a run. This is going to be the 2nd wild pitch / pass ball, and it'll allow Lukart to score. It's a 10-2 ball game. Clear the bases as Lukart scores his first of the day. Now every Lark but Rice has scored. 1 run apiece from Jaslov, Terosian, LaRue, Drowling, Rawson, Ferenzi, and Lukart. 3 runs from Halter. Larks up by 8. They've scored 2 in this inning, 6 in the 5th, and then 1 in inning 1 and 1 in inning 2. 2-2 home with 2 away. Line drive over to the right side. It's going to get between Folks and Brooks. The running effort won't bring him close to it. And Brooks watches it roll into right field. It's a 2-out base hit for Austin Jaslov. So robbed of an RBI after the wild pitch. And gets his second hit of the day. To Jack Tarosian, he singled to start off the 5th inning. The inning the Larks brought 10 to the plate, and he scored. Larks had 6 hits, 6 runs, and left 1 on base in that 5th inning. Jaslov with a decent lead at first base stays put as this one goes above the letters to Tarosian 1-0. And Tarosian with 1 home run on the season and a double for his 2 extra base hits. He has a total of 15 hits on the year. Sends a pop fly to the left side. It'll go into the fan pavilion. And a bunch of kids go chasing. If they get the ball and bring it back to the Larks' nest, they get a $1 courtesy of Hayes PD. One home. Inside to Tarosian on the breaking ball. 2-1. Tarosian drove in 42 runs this year at Hutchison. Played in all but 1 game for the Blue Dragons. 60 games in 2022. This one gets away from Miracle. And Jaslov moves into scoring position. And Tarosian, who has a great approach to the plate, has a hitter's count, a very dangerous situation for Jay Kahn. LaRue on deck, drowning in the hole for Hayes should the Larks need him. Tarosian put his hitting streak at 5 games back in the 5th inning. He's the only Lark to play in every game as he sends a pop fly to the left side. Gaselli sprinting in. So is Miller. He dives for it. The ball is going to land in fair territory. Jaslov is running all the way, and it's going to be a 2-out double for Jack Tarosian, his 2nd double of the year, his 3rd extra base hit. And Jaslov scores. RBI number 1 of the day for Tarosian. And for Jack, RBI number 9. Run scored for Jaslov, number 15. Adam Miller comes out of the dugouts to chat with Jay Kahn with the winning run at second base here in the 7th inning. Tyler Rue at the dish. Ball gets away from Miracle. Goes between his legs, and the game-ending run moves up to 3rd base. Jack Tarosian, 90 feet from making it a 12-2 ball game. LaRue originally held out his hands to Tarosian to tell him to stay at second base, not realizing the ball actually went between Miracle's legs and rolled to the backstop. Two balls, no strikes, 2 away for Tyler LaRue. LaRue has a single in the 5th inning. It's his lone hit of the day. He's scored in that same inning. 2-0 counts. Becomes 3-0, and this one's going to get away from Miracle, and Tarosian just kind of bounced around at 3rd base. would have easily scored had he just gone with his gut instinct and would have ended the game. So Frank Leo shares some words with him. And we'll see adjustments. And LaRue cranks one to left field. We were talking in Colorado. He was due for a home run, and you betcha he's going to get it right here. His second home run in 2 days, and he will walk it off for the Larks here at Larks Park. 13-2 Larks, and he is going to be the hero in tonight's game. Put on the pink cowboy hat, my friend, and walk us off. Larks win at 13-2. LaRue continues to have a hot streak. Scores his second of the day. Drives in RBIs 3 and 4 on the day. Oh, actually 1 and 2. I put those on Dylan Dreiling's card. But the Larks will run rule another opponent this season. They advance to 9-2 on the year. They're 5-1 in RMBL play. They're second in the league. Just one game back now from the Liberal BJs. They've won 8 of their last 9. As for the RoughRiders, 0-8 on the year, 0-7 in league play. They're 6.5 games back in 8th place. As LaRue walks us off here in Hayes. Winning pitcher today, Kobe Grimsley. How about that? His first start as a Lark, and picks up win number 1 as a Lark. So Larks will take on the RoughRiders tomorrow. First pitch at 7 p.m. here at Larks Park. Be sure to catch it right here on Larks Network. Larks win the series tonight with this victory, and we'll look for the sweep tomorrow. They've won all 3 games against the RoughRiders in 2022. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night as the Larks look for the sweep. First pitch at 7 p.m. Larks win at 13-2. Final score here in Hayes, Kansas in 7 innings. We'll see you tomorrow night. This has been Carson Ackman on the call. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.